Hi everyone, I'm Kanagaraj, Faculty for Agriculture. In this video, I'm going to give you a basic idea regarding mains answer writing. For any subject, whether it is GS or optional, as a evaluator, we usually check these things. These are the basics for any answer writing. So the first thing, you have to complete the question paper, and I will discuss one by one. So question completion is must in the examination. You cannot even miss a single 10 marks question, because even within 1 marks or 2 marks, because the competition is very high. So even within 1 mark, 2 marks gap, you can see, you can find a lot of the candidates in between. So we cannot even miss a single question. So question completion is very, very important. Regarding agriculture, mostly Agri graduates, they choose agriculture optional. So for most of the questions, they know the answer. But the problem is, so for UPSC, how to present the answer, that's important. So the second thing is the use of the language and articulation. So how you express your words. So that's very important. But in science-based option like agriculture, you don't need to worry about the language area. So usually we can omit this part. It is important only for the humanities subjects and the GS papers. In agriculture, it's a science-based option. So you can write, you read the standard textbooks, and you can give what is given in the textbook exactly. So don't need to worry about this area. And the most important aspect, the structure and the presentation. See, this is a basic difference between the toppers, the students, those who score high marks, and those who score very less marks. So the proper structure and the presentation, the neat presentation, that's very, very important. So while presenting your answer, you have to provide a proper the introduction. Again, in the introduction part, for agriculture, no need to worry about that. We can simply give definition as an introduction for any topic, whether it is integrated farming system, or integrated pest management, nutrient management, or herbicide resistance, or agroforestry, social forestry. For any topic, we can simply give introduction, the definition as an introduction, and then we can write, maybe we can include facts and all. Then the main body, and finally one conclusion. Again, in the conclusion part, for many questions in agriculture, we can give give the significance as a conclusion. Significance or the importance of the particular topic. Mostly in paper 2, for example, the apomixis topic, or herbicide production, or male sterility, or self-incompatibility. For any topic, for mitochondria, DNA, RNA, for any topic, you can give the information, and finally you can write the significance or importance of the particular topic, the chromosome, or a DNA, RNA, anything, right? In the paper 1, only in few areas, the topics like climate change, the topics related to environmental science and the extension farm management. In those areas, we can give the topic, we give the conclusion as a way forward. Topics related to organic farming, natural farming. Mostly the questions are related to challenges of organic farming, challenges of natural farming, then challenges of crop diversification. So we can give the way forward type of conclusion, right? So these are the basic things, and in the body, the main content, we can include the flow chart, schematic diagram wherever possible, because your answer should not be like monotonous. So you should include the flow chart wherever possible, flow chart, schematic diagrams and all. Mostly in agriculture, the type-based questions like IPM components, the components of different components of IPM. In this question, we can add diagrams like this, the various components, okay, or the principles of sustainable agriculture. Okay, the various components or principles, or the type-based or classification-based questions. We can use this chart in the introduction itself, right? So these are the things we can do. And one more thing, the very, very important aspect, always while listing out the points, use the numbers 1, 2, 3. It is always psychologically, it will satisfy the examiner. If you give the, okay, for example, if you're writing 10 points for a 10 marks question, and if you use the numbers, then you can satisfy the examiner psychologically that you have given 10 points for a particular question, right? And one more thing, while listing out the points, always try to organize your points, the content. For example, in the we can take one question in the paper 2 in the horticulture area, the scope of food processing industries in India. So the food processing industry is one of the sun raising, okay, often it's called a sun raising sector, one of the program under the Make in India scheme. So what are the scope in India for the growth of this sector? So in this question, we can list out the points one by one. In India, we are the second largest producer of horticultural crops in India. So mostly the food processing sector depends upon horticulture sector. They are the major share in the food processing sector, the processing of fruits, vegetables, and everything. So we are the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. Then we have 127 agroclimatic zones in the country. Actually, there are 15 agroclimatic zones and further divided into 127 agroclimatic zones. And apart from that, our strategic geographic location very close to the Middle East and Southeast Asian nations. So we can list out the points one by one. And recently, the economic factors also. Okay, it is growing at an average growth rate of more than 8% annually. The growth rate is also very high, and it also contributes to our export volume. Right, there are so many factors contributing to the for the growth of this sector. So these are the scope, and moreover, recently the consumers, especially in the urban areas, the urban population, there's a huge demand for the processed food in the urban areas. So these are the favorable factors for the growth of this sector. So we can organize the same points. You can list out these points one by one. The other way, how you can score extra marks. The same content, how you can score extra marks? The same points you can organize in this manner. Like what are the geographical factors that promote the growth of this sector? It also adds a dimension. Geographical factors. Then what are the cultural factors? Then what are the political factors, like government schemes and programs? There is one famous scheme regarding the food processing sector, the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana and the Mega Food Park scheme. We can add those points here in the political factors. So cultural factors, geographical factors, then social factors, economic factors. Right. So we can classify the points under various headings. We can present in this manner. So this is what I'm telling the presentation, the structure and the proper structure and the presentation. So you have to organize your points in this manner. This is very, very important. So this is the difference between the topmost answer copy and the others. Okay, right. And another major thing, the content. So for a content, you don't need to do any research. You don't need to add more and more content. Just you can go through the standard textbooks or the material. Simply you can write what is given in the textbook. See, for example, in agriculture, there are only two types of questions, 10 marks and 20 marks. For 10 marks, they are giving 2 pages. For 20 marks, they are giving 3 pages. So all you have to do just to fill the 2 pages and 3 pages. That's all. Okay, you need enough content to fill those pages. That's all. So you need to refer a proper reference material to write the content. For that, you need to make notes. For mains writing students, many students they refer standard textbooks, and some of many students already you might have get this material. You might have this material. Actually, I have prepared a comprehensive material for the entire agriculture optional, entire subject. If you're interested, and you can get it from me. So you can refer this material, and it covers the entire syllabus. You can find the answer for all the previous questions also. Right. So you can refer the standard textbooks or this material. So from this material or from the books, how you can make notes. So notes making is very important. So for every topic, while selecting the topic, so you must make a gist of the particular topic. So for example, take the example of the weed science. On a particular topic. Okay? So let's, for example, herbicide resistance. Okay, this is one of the important topic. Even though it is not in the syllabus, not explicitly mentioned in the syllabus, but the recently UPSC is asking more herbicide related questions. Herbicide selectivity, herbicide resistance, then herbicide efficacy. This type of topics are herbicide classification. They are important. So in the herbicide resistant topic, while making notes, first you have to read the content from the textbooks or the material, and then you have to make a short notes. So the topic, the heading, herbicide resistance. So in the A4 sheet, you can make notes like this. So in the A4 sheet, you can divide the page into two. So herbicide resistance, that's the topic. And under this topic, you have to make a proper structure. So first I'm going to write the introduction. So here the introduction is nothing but the definition. There is an introduction I'm going to give, that you have to make it up. Then after that, the second point, okay, the second area I'm going to give example and examples from India. On a typical example, the resistance shown by the Phalaris minor against isoprotron in the wheat field, okay, North India. That's one famous example. Then what are the types of herbicide resistance, and then how to manage this resistance. And before that, we can add one more topic, that is what are the causes, the reasons for the herbicide resistance, and then finally the how to manage. Okay, so this is your short notes. So if UPSC asking this question, these are the content I'm going to give. So you have to make in this type of notes, right? Just introduction, definition. You need to make it up, and then examples. Suppose if you forget examples, then you can add examples here. Just a hint, okay? Then types. What are the major types? Cross resistance and all. Then causes. Just a hint. Then how to manage. Right? And if you want to give any facts, then you can add facts also here. And if you want to add any diagram, you can also add diagram here, right? So this is how you have to make notes from the material or from the books, okay? And if you prepare in this manner for every topic, then it will be very useful for you, especially for at the time of examination. You can revise the entire topics very easily. Again, you need to go through the standard textbooks or the material, right? Okay, then finally, so content is important. Then finally, we go for the value addition. And if you do this all the process properly, if you complete the question paper with the proper structure and presentation and the content, then almost you can get more than 55–60% of the marks. And we can do one more thing, the value addition. This is where okay, you can distinguish your answer paper from others. So in the value addition part, here, since Agri is a science-based paper, so we can add diagrams, lot of diagrams, and even it is not that you draw diagrams only for the topic that you can find diagrams in the book. See, we can draw a lot of diagrams, and we can, it's your innovation, right? For example, even for some topics, the theoretical part also, we can draw diagram. For example, the difference between the irrigated agriculture and dryland agriculture. So in this topic, we can write the difference between the irrigated agriculture and dryland agriculture. So it is mostly practiced in the irrigated condition, where irrigation is the main, the artificial source of irrigation they use, and mostly in the Indo-Gangetic Plains region and the delta regions. And dryland agriculture mostly practiced in the central part of India, where the rainfall. There are three types. Okay? Within that, there are three subtypes. So 1100 to 750, then 750 to 400 something, and then less than 400. Okay, right. These are the three different types. Okay, dryland agriculture, dry farming, dryland farming, and the rainfed farming. Right. So we can create differences. So we can write a lot of the features, and the risk is very high in the dryland agriculture. Irrigated agriculture risk is very low, And mostly here they practice the monocropping. Here they go for the mixed cropping and all, right? So in this question also we can add diagram. So simply we can draw a small India diagram. Okay, so within the division. So we can draw a small India map, and where we practice the everyday agriculture and where we practice land agriculture. We can draw two India maps, small maps, right, within the question, within the answer. These are the innovations you can create. Then one more topic in the paper 2, the food dietary guidelines, right? So national dietary guidelines, that is a topic in the paper 2, last topic. So in the dietary guidelines, our National Institute of Nutrition, they have given 15 guidelines. So for this question, we can simply write one by one the 15 guidelines. And in this question also, we can draw one diagram. We can add a pyramid. So in the pyramid, so based on this, the dietary guidelines, in this pyramid, usually they give we give more weightage for the fruits, vegetables, and all. We consume more these items and the protein, and finally we take less amount of we should take less amount of the fats and all, right? So we can draw one pyramid shape to indicate the basic concepts of the dietary guidelines. Okay, right. So these are the things we can do. And regarding facts, so wherever possible, if you come across while reading the newspaper or any magazines or reports, if you come across any important fact, then we can add facts also. So it's important. In the paper 2, for purely science-based topics, we need to add the scientist who discovered the concept. For example, if you're writing the cell division process or cell cycle or DNA, RNA, or chromosome, we have to give that information. So chromosome, okay, suppose if they're asking a chromosome question, describe the structure of chromosome. Then in the introduction part, first we have to define what is chromosome. And there's a physical carrier of genes and all that transmit the characters from one generation to another generation. So apart from that, we can also add the point. Chromosome was discovered by the Fleming, and the chromosome, the term was coined by Waldeyer. So this kind of information, it is essential, right, in the paper 2. And in the paper 1, for the general topics, we can give the latest facts. How much area covered under irrigation, how much area covered under the micro irrigation area, right? Then how much area covered under the organic farming. Right. So these are the facts I have included from the PAB websites and the economic survey, and it is covered in this material. There is a chapter called Agriculture General Topics, and in this topic, I have covered those facts. Okay, right. Okay, and for example, in the weed science also, for simple questions like crop weed competition also, this kind of question, crop weed competition, we can add the fact. So in the introduction part, based on ICR report, according to the weeds, they cause around 11.4 billion something, okay, $11.4 billion, the annual loss due to the weeds, right? So these kind of facts we can include, and we have to mention the source also, according to ICAR, according to the Niti Aayog report, according to the Ministry of the Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay, right? We have to mention the source according to FAO, right? Even while writing the definition for natural farming, conservation agriculture, organic farming, you can use the word according to FAO, right? So these are the things we have to focus. Then on the validation part, one more important thing, they're giving examples. In agriculture, again, examples are very important. You need to give a lot of examples for every topic. For example, in the climate change topic, these are very general topics in the climate change. To make the answer more specific, because everybody can write, even in non-agri graduate, they can able to answer the points for the impact of climate change in agriculture, right? So, but you have to make it more specific related to agriculture. And due to the climatic variations, it affects the monsoon pattern and all. So the rising temperature also affects our crop production, you know, all that. So you have to give some specific examples or recent case studies. For example, recently the fall armyworm. The outbreak of the fall armyworm is due to the overcast sky, especially in the maize field, the overcast sky and the irregular long dry spell in the monsoon. Actually, these are caused by the climatic variations, right? So the long dry spell and the overcast sky, these are the favorable factors for the outbreak of fall armyworm in the maize field in Karnataka and the southern states, right? So this is one of the impact of the major impact of climate change in agriculture. Okay, so we have to give this kind of the specific examples in our paper. Okay, right. So this is what I want to share with you. So keep in mind these facts. Okay, so far what I have discussed in this session. So keep in mind and practice in your test series. I hope this video will be useful for you. Thank you.